Constitution smarts to the test and a pop quiz coming right up. This is Channel 1 News, and it starts right now!
Thanks to the students from Glen Falls High for kicking us off. We'll get back to them in just a few, but first, we begin with the fragile peace deal in the war-torn country of Syria. Today marks the fourth day of a truce that is supposed to allow food and water into towns that desperately need it, but that hasn't happened. Under a proposal by the U.S., Russia, and all sides in Syria's civil war, everyone was supposed to move back from the main highway leading into the city of Aleppo, so trucks with food and medical supplies could roll through safely. But each side is waiting for the other to start first, creating a stalemate. The ceasefire is still active for another 24 hours. But the bad news is that hundreds of thousands are still starving, waiting for food and water to be delivered. All right, next up, more than 6 million kids and teens suffer from asthma in the U.S., with this week known as Asthma Peak Week. It's a time when levels of dust and germs are really high for kids. A recent study shows an increase in asthma attacks in kids and an uptick in doctor's visits for the month of September.
There's a new allergen in the air called ragweed pollen, and so that triggers a lot of asthma attacks in children. And on top of that, there's also a surge in viruses.
Asthma is a disease in which a person's airways become inflamed, narrow, and swell, making it difficult to breathe. Doctors say it's critical asthma sufferers use an inhaler when necessary. And it's also important for parents and teachers to work together on an action plan so they know how to react in the case of an asthma attack. And last up, President Obama created the first marine monument in the Atlantic Ocean. So what does that mean? Well, the National Monument label means a large part of sea canyons and underwater mountains off the coast of Cape Cod in New England will now be protected and preserved. The announcement came at this year's annual Ocean Conference, where President Obama said it was unacceptable not to be able to pass on the ocean to our children.
And so the investment that all of us together make here today is vital for our economy, it is vital for our foreign policy, it's vital for our national security, but it's also vital for our spirit. It's vital to who we are.
The new monument is home to endangered whales, turtles, and ancient deep-sea coral and species of fish unique to the region. Okay, after the break, some striking news for soccer players.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Do you have what it takes to stop super criminal Carmen Sandiego? Now is your chance in the Carmen Sandiego Returns app. Become an Acme agent, travel the globe to gather clues, learn about culture and geography, complete challenges to enhance your skills, narrow down your suspects, and apprehend the criminals. But there's no time to rest because you're on to the next mission.
Ha! Did you really think it was going to be that easy to catch Carmen Sandiego?
Carmen Sandiego Returns. Download today on the App Store.
About 3 million kids and teens play soccer in the U.S., and that number is growing. But now new research shows as the sport is becoming more popular, more players are getting hurt on the field. Here's Tom Hansen with more.
As a goalie, 15-year-old Josh Zwydorf suffered a concussion last year after colliding with another player.
He apparently kneed me in the head, and I don't think I ever passed out, but I don't really remember much.
Just one of hundreds of injuries that happen on the soccer field all the time. In fact, every day, more than 300 kids end up in the emergency room with soccer-related injuries. This new study spanning 25 years found the most common injuries are sprains, strains, and fractures. Boys are more likely to get broken bones and cuts, while girls have more knee and ankle issues. Tracy Meehan is a researcher at Nationwide Children's Hospital.
Kids are playing more frequently now than they used to. They're playing year-round and in more leagues than they ever have before.
One of the biggest concerns protecting the still developing brains of young players. There has been a nearly 1,600% increase in the rate of soccer-related head injuries, including concussions. The U.S. Soccer Federation now prohibits kids under 11 from using their heads to strike the ball. The concern is even getting top athletes to speak out. Former women's national team star Brandi Chastain wants U.S. soccer to go even further and not allow kids to head the ball until they turn 14.
You know, I think the toughest thing to do as a young person is to advocate for yourself. So if you do, head the ball, or you do fall down and you've hit your head and maybe you don't feel right, but how do you stand up to your coach and say, I can't play, when all that's inside of you is that competitor saying you got to go out to the field?
Parents and coaches are much more aware of concussions and the long-term impacts they can have on kids. In fact, taking concussions and other injuries much more seriously here on the soccer field is one of the main reasons why there has been such a large increase in emergency room visits. Josh sat out for a few weeks, but says it probably should have been longer.
I just wanted to come back to the game. I kind of faked my last test a little. For people that are having concussions right now and in the future, don't do that.
And now he's back on the sidelines again after dislocating his shoulder. Tom Hansen, Channel 1 News.
Thanks, Tom. All right, after the break, we've got a pop quiz for you, all about politics.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
When they question me, I'll say it was an accident, an unfortunate tragedy, but it was neither. When they ask me what happened that night, I'll say it was a mistake, but it wasn't. Well, I don't remember, I'll say, but I do. I remember everything. We'll never be apart.
Today is Constitution Day. Oh yeah, so that means it's time for us to see how much you know about that 229-year-old document. Now we're in the middle of a presidential election, so it seems like a good time to check out how the process works as outlined in the Constitution. Here's Keith Kosinski getting some help on this pop quiz.
Okay guys, I'm hanging out with the AP US History class at Glens Falls High School in New York. And these guys know a lot about how our government works. You probably know that in the US, a president is not elected by a popular vote of the people, meaning the winner is not necessarily the candidate with the most votes overall. So how does it work? Well, these guys have your question.
Who directly votes for the president in the general election? A. Caucuses. B. Lobbyists.
C. Delegates. Or D. Electors.
You have 10 seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, your time is up. The answer is
D. Electors.
The United States uses the Electoral College system. Instead of directly electing presidents, voters in each state actually select electors. And the different number of electors depends on the population of those states. Each state has the same number of electoral votes as it does members of Congress. This is a normal-looking map of the United States, but when you size each state according to the electoral power it carries, you get a very different picture. Montana nearly disappears, and California more than doubles. So which states a candidate wins can be more important than how many he or she wins. In the general election, there are 538 electoral votes at stake. A candidate needs to win at least 270 of those votes.
So you can win the vote of the people, but still lose the Electoral College? Yep, it happened, and not that long ago.
In 2000, Al Gore got 51% of the total nationwide votes, but George W. Bush won the Electoral College, 271 to 266, meaning Bush ended up in the Oval Office.
There you have it. That's it for us at Glens Falls High School. Peace.
Awesome job. Thanks, guys. And we've got an interactive map that shows you how the Electoral College voted in past elections. Plus, you can create your own winning states for this current election cycle. Check it out on our election desk at channel1.com. Okay, now it's time for Feel Good Friday. Ariel Hickson has a story about students that are getting healthy and creative in the kitchen.
I'm coring the zucchinis.
Rosa Aguilar took up cooking as a hobby, but it quickly became more.
It's really personal. I want to change.
The 18-year-old started making meals for her family when she found out some foods can cause health problems.
People just get a little bigger and bigger, and they end up dying, and it hurts me.
Rosa was on a team of student chefs from Orange County, California, that participated in Cooking Up Change, a culinary contest to promote healthy eating in schools nationwide. 10 school districts competed. Each team came up with a healthy 3-course menu, and now all the meals will be served in their school districts during the school year.
We need our young people to understand healthy eating, healthy life choices.
Needy Mejia from the Chicago team is turning her passion for cooking into a career.
My mom was like 2 points away from reaching diabetes, so we had to start eating healthier. So I think that really impacted me.
Needy is now studying at the International Culinary Academy in New York City. Both she and Rosa got a taste of being graded.
And we're Cooking Up Change.
Celebrity chefs and local political leaders judged the teams. Rosa's won first place, and Needy's came in second. Sweet success for 2 aspiring chefs who are already making a difference. Ariel Hickson, Channel 1 News.
That is so awesome. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll see you right back here on Monday.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of...
Good morning, Shafer Sharks. I'm Mike, along with
Nyona,
Shannon,
and Suzanne.
It's Friday, September 16th, Day B, Constitution Day, a day to commemorate the adoption of the most influential document in American history, the Constitution of the United States. And now, would you please rise for the pledge to the flag? Allegiance to the flag. Thank you.
Please remain standing for a moment of
Thank you. You may now be seated. Please listen to our morning announcements.
Today's weather, mostly sunny today with a high of 77 degrees. For lunch, mini turkey corn dogs, Spanish salad with light ranch dressing, and oven-baked fries. For dessert, raisins, along with your original healthy milk.
Happy birthday to Philip Lee, Mackenzie McFadden, and to our awesome 8th grade social studies teacher, Mrs. Franklin, who celebrate their birthdays today. And to Maya Pugh and Jada Pugh, who celebrate their birthdays over the weekend. Let's hear that birthday song.
The library is open today. I repeat, the library is open today. Today's shark announcements.
The month of September is Children's Cancer Awareness Month. Please help SGA support Alex's Lemonade Stand by making a donation at lunchtime today. You may enjoy a cup of delicious lemonade for any donation. For more information, please see Mrs. Franklin in room 201 or go to www.alexslemonadestand.org.
Lights, camera, action. Interested in trying out for Sunny Side Up as an anchor? Then plan on staying after school on Tuesday, September 20th for an informational meeting. Meet in room 206. You will be taking the 410 bus home. And here's
Shannon.
Arctic/Garden Club will be holding their first meeting on September 20th in room 111. See Ms. Conlon for a permission slip and details.
Attention 7th grade girls. Are you interested in being part of an after-school group with the YWCA? The group will help foster self-esteem and peer interactions. It is a safe and nurturing place for genuine self-expression. Group membership is a first-come, first-served basis, so please see Ms. Noonan in guidance as soon as possible. Permission slips will be due September 21st.
Shafer Middle School will be hosting an exciting event on Saturday, September 24th. Come join in the fun for our 10th annual Robert Massaroni Memorial Color Run. The run is $25 per person or $40 per family. You can sign up online at runsignup.com Massaroni Color Run. Same day registration for the race starts at 7:30 a.m. and the color run starts at 9 a.m. There will be music, fruit, pretzels, and Nifty 50s milkshakes to enjoy after the colorful excitement. You can get a sign-up form from the front office, your homeroom teacher, or from Miss McKenty in room 218.
All of Mrs. Sperduda's reading classes are encouraged to bring their crayons or colored pencils to class today.
Once again, it's time to dive into our Shark Tank and share a splash about
Mrs. Franklin.
Did you know that Mrs. Franklin grew up in Bensalem and is a graduate of BHS? She even had Mrs. Schreiner as a cheerleading coach.
What? Are you kidding me? Mrs. Schreiner's way too young to have been her teacher.
A graduate of Westchester University, Mrs. Franklin has taught at Snyder, Armstrong, and Faust, but loves teaching at Shafer. You can see Mrs. Franklin's friendly face.
Hey, that's alliteration!
Every morning at our school store. She also enjoys working out with Shafer's Student Government Association and planning school events. Mrs. Franklin is married and has 2 children, Brennan and Emily. When Mrs. Franklin is not at school, you can typically find her on the sidelines of a soccer game or
I love soccer!
Or watching a dance class. She loves to eat ice cream and pizza, shop at Target.
Who doesn't?
Well, you are correct there. And enjoy spending time with her family and vacation at the shore, Hershey Park, and Disney World. You can find Mrs. Franklin teaching 8th grade social studies in room 201.
So stop by today and wish Mrs. Franklin a happy birthday.
And now, for the first shark drawing of the year.
Today we have rainbow-colored erasers, a logic puzzle book, and pencils.
For 7th grade, Danielle Russell, homeroom 219, Chris Chichi, homeroom 205, and Caleb Honer, homeroom 219.
For 8th grade, we have Sabrina Sloan, homeroom 113, Angel Sandoval, homeroom 113, and Alyssa Keller-Bogan, homeroom 226. And that concludes the show for today. Make this day an awesome one. Keep it classy, stay beautiful.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty.